What is up and welcome back to the channel. We are your Colorado real estate family. Alright guys, so we've covered the city before. Arvada is a great city to move into, but the biggest thing is Arvada for you?
Alright, let's find out. Alright, if you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Colorado, Denver, or any of its surrounding cities, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified every single time we put out a new video.
Yeah guys, what we like to do is be your boots on the ground experts because we know what it's like when you're moving from one state into another state, not knowing what the environment's like, wanting to know about the activities, the cost of living. We bring it all to you. With that, if you're looking at purchasing a house in the state of Colorado or Denver surrounding cities, licensed real estate agent here. I love helping you out. So we're going to throw that phone number in right below there. Give us a call. You're most likely going to get Chelsea. You might by off chance get me, but most likely it's going to be Chelsea.
Yes, awesome. So let's go ahead and dive in. Today we're talking about Arvada and whether or not Arvada is for you. So we're going to try to give you all the information that we know about Arvada, which is quite a bit because I actually grew up here.
Yeah, I literally grew up. So the water tower, you can't see, but it's right over here. I grew up like, boom, right there.
Yeah, you're actually
like,
closer
no
to
shit.
Old Town than I was.
Oh yeah, I used to always come up to, this has changed so much because I came up here and we used to always, create a little bit of havoc as kids and doing our thing. And, everyone shooting us off their porch with the brooms and all the good thing. And
all right, so Arvada, where are we? Okay, so if you're coming from Denver, you're going to shoot up I-25. You're going to hop over, I guess, to I-70 West. There's several different exits off I-70 that you can get into Arvada depending on where you're going, but how far would you say it is to Denver?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking at moving into Arvada, there's a good chance that you still want to commute down into Denver. There's a few options for that. So say that you want to drive into Denver, you're looking at like a 30-minute drive, and I actually checked this out, like an 8 a.m. drive, so you're driving into work with that traffic. Typically, you're looking at like 30 minutes. I mean, we can't predict whether there's going to be an accident or anything like that, but without traffic, let's say you're not driving in that morning rush hour traffic, you're looking at like 20 minutes. So not a bad drive whatsoever.
Yeah, not bad because you have that highway, right? I-70 to I-25, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And then also, what if they're not wanting to drive?
Yeah, so public transit. And Arvada has 3 light rail stations.
That's awesome.
We've talked about the light rail stations like on multiple different videos. Arvada has 3 different stations. So they have one like on the east side, which is like your 60th and Sheridan station. You have one that's here in Old Town right here, and this is the largest station that they have. They actually built a huge parking garage right over here. You can't see it, but this is their main station, and they also have one that's called like Arvada Ridge. It's on the west side of Arvada, and that's closer to like actually Target, where me and her kind of met at one time.
Kind of met at. We definitely met at Target.
Yeah, off of Kipling.
Yes.
Yep.
So also, if you're coming from Arvada, say you're going over to DIA, it's about a 40-minute drive, which also isn't bad. Again, you can jump on 70 and take that all the way out. So overall, Arvada's a really great place to be able to go either direction. Also, because I didn't even think about this, but to Boulder.
Yeah.
I mean, Boulder's also like 30-minute drive.
Yeah, so, you just take 93 up and
really, no matter which direction you're going, and depending on kind of where you are in Arvada, because it is pretty big. It might even be less than that if you're in North Arvada, just going,
of
93.
course, yeah. Well, I mean, another thing too to think about is the ski slopes. The Arvada's on the front range, and so it's like you can hop right on I-70, hit right up into all the main ski slopes right off I-70. So that's a huge pro for Arvada too.
Yeah, we talked about several different areas where even though you might seem like you're closer to the mountains in certain areas, that you still have to take I-70 to get into the mountains for kind of your bigger, ski slope areas. And so definitely a good place to be if you want to hop into those mountains really quick.
Yeah, and so Arvada, we actually covered this city when we talked about our cities closest to the mountains. If you haven't checked that video out, go check it out. I'm going to go throw a link in and right around here, maybe down, I don't know, somewhere. But yeah, this is one of the cities that was closer to the mountains. It's like a highly popular area that's just growing like crazy. So.
It's growing so much. In fact, we were over on Ward Road, which is actually where I grew up, and we were just driving our typical drive, which brings back so many amazing memories for me. It used to be like the Jolly Rancher factory, excuse me, and like all kinds of things. Well, we're driving by where I used to play soccer as a kid, and there were all these brand new developments. We're like, what in the world is going on in Arvada? Because we honestly didn't know if there was that much more to build, but they are building still along all the outskirts.
Well, the biggest reason is like, so you have those light rail stations, and so like Arvada Ridge, there used to be a ton of fields over there. Now they're building all these, super tall like multi-development units over there, and so you've got that going on right here in Old Town. They just put this huge development right next to the light rail station as well too.
Yeah.
Same with over in Sheridan. Anytime you see these light rail stations, you see some crazy brand new development going in, whether it be multi-fam, single-family use, and so it's pretty cool that since Arvada has those 3 stations, probably a big driving factor why it's growing the way it is.
Yeah, and not only that, but once you start seeing the light rail stations come in, the downtown get revamped, we were seeing tons of new businesses come into Old Town Arvada, which is so fun, especially if you're a foodie. What is that? A plane? I don't know if they always have plane cover here, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's kind of rare. Anyways, there's a bunch of new restaurants down here, so if you're a foodie, like, this is such an awesome place. And after COVID, they permanently shut down a lot of the streets. So anyways, a lot of the things, all the houses around here, we're going to start seeing probably some scrapes coming up. So talking about real estate, let's dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, so back to that question, is Arvada for you or is it not? So the type of homes that you're going to kind of find in Arvada, we're in Old Town right now, and a lot of the houses that are surrounding this area are, your older houses. We're talking literally like some built in the 40s, 50s, even some early 1900s, some of these older farm style houses. Now, if you want to get like kind of that newer suburbia development style, you're going to go get closer to the mountains. You're going to have to get further west and even further west and north. So you have all these newer developments.
Yeah.
First, they started out kind of going more west, and now they're going more north, where you have like more your Five Parks, your Candelas, these brand new developments happening that are still getting built like crazy. And so like you pretty much have, the heart of Arvada is going to be your older Arvada. If you want your newer suburbia style homes, you're going to have to go a little bit more north.
Yeah, and the really cool thing about Arvada too is there's still homes with like ranch style kind of homes. I guess they're a little bit west and south, or like kind of, I'm talking about, like 50 something in Ward Road. There's still a lot of like ranch style homes where you do have a lot of land, and it's kind of rare anymore in such a popular city to not see all those wiped out, but there's just no way. There's such big areas with these ranch style homes. I don't think that's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and it's like on the west side of Arvada, one thing you're really going to see is a lot of farms too. So you have a lot of family farms that are out there. Nothing crazy, and so you'll see some horses, still kind of get those smells coming in, but it's nothing crazy. So it's something you really see in Arvada as well too. So it's great you can have the city and still be able to enjoy kind of that agricultural lifestyle as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about pricing?
All right, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, pricing in Arvada has been insane. In fact, like the median sales price of a house back in February of 2022, which is just a month ago, I act like it's forever ago, was $630. So $630,000 median sales price. A year over year, so from February of 2021 to February of 2022, that's a 20% gain in prices. Like I said, we've always talked about how Colorado is experiencing these double-digit gains in a lot of these cities, and Arvada is one of those that's growing like crazy right now.
Yeah, and rightfully so. It's a very desirable space,
and
you have a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, like I said, we grew up here. We love it. We still have those memory flashbacks every time we're driving into Colorado.
All the time.
And still, every time we come here, we're like, holy crap, what's this? What's that? They used to have this great place that was always I forget the name of it was called. Goody Two Shoes, or I don't know, Goody Two Shoes. This restaurant that was on the corner. And
Gunther Tooties?
Was that it? Wait.
I think so.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
No, it was something. Mr. Good Sense. I don't know. Something along those lines. Anyways, it was something that growing up, it was kind of like those old school fast food, where they had like the awesome burgers and all that stuff. Well, they ripped it down and they just put a brand new cochina up there. And so every time we drive down here, we're seeing brand new development, we're seeing brand new restaurants. And so it's great to see an area that's growing so much. And with that, you're going to get those equity gains like crazy. So if you're planning on moving to Arvada, this is a good time to buy for sure.
Yeah, okay, so we also still come to Arvada for all the fun stuff. So let's talk a little bit about what you could do in Arvada. And actually, this is so funny. We would have probably never thought about the skate parks, to be honest with you, but we have a new client right now who it's important to this client, and so we have taken it amongst ourselves to find where some of these awesome skate parks are, about what different things people enjoy. And so what was the interesting fact you looked at for the skate park here?
So Arvada just built like the 3rd largest skate park in the country.
I can't believe that. That's so cool.
So it's 40,000 square feet, and Colorado has these random like things, right? And so it's like when I was in the military, kind of going back a little bit. Colorado was like the only state in the United States that had the alligator wrestling college. It's just like this random shit. So, like, look it up. I'm like, Arvada, Colorado, the 3rd largest skate park in the country. So it's just all this random stuff, but at the same time, super cool, super awesome, the fact that they kind of brought that into the city.
Yeah, awesome. So the other things that we like to take advantage of personally is we have a really awesome dog park in Arvada. So on the west side of town, like you could take your dogs there and it almost feels like they're not even in a dog park because it's so much land, so many trees. There's a river that runs, or I don't even know if you can call it a river, a stream.
Yeah.
There's a stream that runs through it, and it's just, they have some of the best dog parks in Arvada.
Yeah, well that one's technically considered our Westminster, I think. But then
Is it?
because Stanley Lake, And then,
but
the one that we used to always go to was the one off on 93. So
that same thing, though.
I mean, they're huge. Both of them are
huge.
amazing.
You can like work out there.
You could just walk and not see any fences. So
no, it'd be
awesome.
like hiking, but appropriate for dogs to be all off leash.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
So if you got any fur babies
the one
out
on
there.
93 and 64th. So 64th and Highway 93 is the one he's talking about,
Yeah.
and then there's another one over by Stanley Lake.
Yeah.
So there's so many awesome. I mean, they have some of the best dog parks. So this isn't like you get to go to the dog park and you're sitting out in the sun with no trees. Like this is an awesome space to take your dogs in case you're a dog.
The only thing you got to worry about is there's twice that we went to the super large one up north, kind of in the Westminster area, that had rattlesnakes. So
that's true. It is very much so adventure.
Yeah, and they had. Remember, there was like a snake lady. This lady like came. She was a snake whisperer. She like went and picked it up with sticks, and
we were like, we're getting out of here.
I was like, yeah,
like good for you. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the other things. So water activities.
Yeah. So water activities, they have pretty much your boating, fishing, kind of hiking type of stuff. Here's the thing I need to tell you though. When I talk about boating, I'm not talking about your recreational boating that we talk about like when we're in Fort Collins. You're not going to come out here and go water skiing and all that stuff because the lakes in like Arvada Reservoir that they have here, it's actually non-motorized. And it's, it's not non-motorized. You can have an electric motor.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you're not going to be pulling someone on a wakeboard, but with an electric motor. It's mainly for your fishing and all those good things. So they really love that, kind of having the kayak and all that. But something that we love to do that you can do there is stand-up board. So you can't paddleboard. Yeah. And so that's something that's like, because Arvada Reservoir is the water supply for the city of Arvada, they don't want any human contact with it. And so they're really strict about that because, so Arvada Reservoir and then also Lake Arbor are 2 lakes that you can actually get out on with a kayak or whatever, but they always say 0 contact with a human to the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, what else? What is there else there to do?
Well, I mean, so the Apex, and I haven't experienced it as much as you have.
The Apex.
Yeah.
Which honestly, a lot of my Apex things are as a kid. But Apex Rec Center, it's going to be like on 72nd and Ward Road, which is kind of by where I grew up.
Yep.
We used to walk there as kids all the time. There was a play space when you go there. There's a pool. There's an ice rink. My mom actually, weirdly enough, played hockey there, like on a women's league. It's so weird. And then, there's just like so many things to do at the Apex. It's really awesome. I mean, you can spend the whole day there, get a membership. There's a gym, of course. So if you're closer to that side of town, it's a really good gym option as well. The YMCA, we have the YMCA over here. So same thing, like the same childcare, pool, all that. So we do have a lot of different rec center options in Arvada that we as kids took advantage of all the time.
Yeah, the Apex wasn't like when I was in Arvada. It wasn't even around. So I think that was kind of the younger ages. I never got to experience as much as you did. So
loved it. I swear, I feel like it was daycare for my parents.
That's amazing.
Because I'm like, where were my parents?
Yep.
Oh, Mom. If Mom's watching this, she's gonna like Chels. Okay.
All right, so another thing in regards to recreation and stuff like that in Arvada is, I mean, they're big on bikes. We're not talking like Fort Collins status where they platinum level. They're like flexing up there and all that. But they're rated a silver bicycle friendly community. But with that, they just passed a huge master plan in 2017 for bicyclists in the city of city of Colorado, city of Arvada, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to make that better, right? And so they look at someone like Fort Collins, who's like I said, the platinum level status. Arvada really is striving to become a lot more biker friendly than they currently are, which they already are pretty biker friendly.
I think a lot of that also probably goes toward the fact that Arvada has really expanded west.
Yep.
And so they are in the foothills, and so they know that they're going to be attracting more people who are doing that foothill kind of downhill biking, and so I think that's awesome. Speaking of biking, we actually used to bike the trail from Thornton all the way down to Old Town Arvada, which is where we're standing right now, because we used to come and get a beer or a drink. We'd put the kids, probably shouldn't say I'm drinking a beer with the kids. Anyway,
hey, you're on a bicycle,
mamas
right?
out there, don't
what is that,
judge
a BUI bicycle?
Yeah, don't judge me. It was like one beer, and I went 26 miles. Okay, so we used to put the kids on the back of the bike and the little, like the little kid
trailer,
bikes.
the trailer.
Yeah, the trailers.
Yep.
And we used to go from Thornton all the way down here to Old Town Arvada. We would catch a bite to eat, have a beer, hang out for a little while, and then trek all the way back up. And I think it was like 26 miles or something crazy.
So in that Clear Creek trail is amazing. I actually used to always ride it as a kid coming in from Westminster, and so it's a Clear Creek biking trail. You can walk it and all that stuff. There's no motorized vehicles allowed on it, and it literally you could take it all the way from like so I used to come from Westminster, but I mean even Denver, it'll go all the way through to Golden, and it's an amazing trail. You're along the creek the entire time. Great stop off. So like I said, I mean, kind of if you're in that bicycling lifestyle or just want to get the family out on your bicycles to do something, it's a great option for you guys.
Yeah, it's absolutely the best. And like being able to stop in like little old towns, like if you go all the way to Golden, then you could obviously take advantage of their old town. Do they call it Old Town or Downtown?
Yeah, it's both
Probably
the same.
Old Town. It seems more like an old town. But anyways, okay, what else?
All right, so here's one thing that you really need to kind of know in regards to Arvada is since it is on the front range, you're going to expect more snow.
Yes.
Like, I mean, so we have family and friends that live down here, and all the time, like I said, we're kind of, a little bit further northeast, hearing them talk about how, oh man, did you guys get this dump that we did? And we're like, not quite so much,
really.
And so like even if you look into the numbers, they'll say like Arvada on average gets like 60, 61 inches of snow per year. Somewhere more east, you're looking at like closer to 40, 45. So that's 15 inches different, which could be huge, when you only have, maybe a half a dozen great like big dumped snowstorms in the year. So.
Yeah, the other thing too is my mom loves flowers, and she's always, planting those. We always tell everybody who's moving to Colorado that you probably shouldn't start planting until after Mother's Day.
Yep.
If anyone's going to get a big dump after that, it's typically going to be on the west side here over in Arvada. So if you are a gardener, you should probably just hold off a little bit longer, because Mom calls me every year saying, Chelsea, they ruined my flowers, and she's all ticked off. So just another thing to keep in mind, if you are in the gardening, it's a great place to do it, but you probably should wait a little bit longer in the season.
Yeah, guys, I mean, overall, Arvada is an amazing city for sure. They're becoming so much better in regards to your commutes, because it's, for a little bit there when you had all this building going on like Sladen Rock and all these developments, the roads were super small, so you had like a 2-lane road going to these huge developments, and so if you're getting off work, it started getting super congested. They're becoming a lot better at developing these roads, making them bigger, planning for the growth that's happening. But Arvada, all in all, is an amazing place. If something you guys are interested in, like I said, give us a ring. We're going to throw our phone number in right below again. Give us a call. We are more than willing to hook up on a Zoom or a phone call and answer any questions you guys might have.
All right, thanks for joining us today.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. What is up, and welcome back to the channel. You're watching... Nope. And dive into this video, we're going to talk about Arvada, Colorado.
Yes, so...
When you're moving from another state into a different state, you want to know all the things that you need to know.
All right, if you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and...